Erev Tov Rabotai. There's two questions regarding certain types of bread that that people eat. What is the bracha on these breads? I'll explain to you two things there. One is you have bread which is on the airplane. If you ever fly, international flight, go to Israel, you went to Europe, whatever it is, you see, right? They serve you, if you order a kosher meal, GLATT kosher meal, they bring you like a little bit small roll there, little thing there, lachamaniya, So what is the bracha on this? It's hamotzi or it's mezonot on this bread, right? That they give you. So there was actually a big machloket about this. In my younger days, I remember there were some rabbanim, came out and said, why are they telling people over there on the plane, that the bracha is mezonot for these things? It's really hamotzi. They said, why hamotzi? Because it's a seudah. They're giving you chicken, and rice, all kinds of food there. It's a whole meal. Seudah, so you have to make hamotzi. Why mezonot? This is what they were saying, So there was really a big machlokat there, some say like this, some say like that, all kinds of different opinions. So I just, this morning for some reason, I don't know, I remembered this whole issue, and came to me a nice idea, that I think that the more proper thing to do is to say here mezonot, on these rolls, not really hamotzi. I'll tell you why. I'll tell you several reasons why that is. Number one is that these rolls, what are they made with? They're made with like fruit juice, apple juice or grape juice, that's what they do. They make it with that. They don't use water to make the dough. Why do they do that? Why don't they use water? Water is cheaper, right? Nothing cheaper than water. So then why do they use juice? The reason is because they say, when you use juice, it becomes mezonot. It's like a cake, more. It's like a mezonot. That's why they put juice in there. So they put especially, juice in there to make it mezonot. But there are rabbis who say, even if you put juice, doesn't matter. Why? Because it's still, you're making a seudah. It's kfiyut seudah. You're making a seudah. But there's also other reasons, why. First of all, why they do this, what's the reason why they make the rolls with fruit juice, to make it mezonot on the plane? Why? Because they know it's hard, to do netilat yadayim over there on the plane, you know what I mean? It's hard, very difficult. You know how it is, right? You're sitting there like a, sardine, very, very crowded. And to get to the water, over there, you got to go, past the people, and say, excuse me, let me out. I got to go to wash my hands, and sometimes they don't have any water, only in the bathroom, So washing your hands in the bathroom was not so good anyway. It's very dirty there, the bathroom there, public bathroom. It's not so clean, whatever. So it's not really so convenient, because of these things to make netilat yadayim on the plane. You know what I mean? Who can do this? Even you can do it if you really want, but it's hard. For most people, very difficult to do this. This is the reason why they make it with fruit juice in order that it should be mezonot. That you shouldn't have this problem. That's the whole thing. There's also another thing, which is that they give you how much they give you bread. They give you like a small roll, like this, egg size. Right. It's not really very, so it's like a snack. It's not really like a real seudah, in terms of the size, it's not really so big. That's also another thing. They only give you one, right? Each seudah gets one roll. That's it. If you want more, you have to ask them, please give me another one. They have to look for it, go see if they have another one left, for you. You know what I mean? Usually you don't get two. You get only one. That's all you get, right? So that's, another reason why it's like a snack, it's like mezonot, because it's small. The size is also not very large. That's also another reason. There's also other things involved there, which is that, what do you call it? These rolls, did you ever see, like somebody, not on the plane, right? Let's say, somewhere else, right? In the house, or in the shul, or in the wedding hall. Did you see somebody bringing rolls like this, like these small little things like this? Nobody brings this kind of thing. You know what I mean? Nobody brings it. Because this is like specially made for the plane, nobody else, there's no other place where you see rolls like this. These small little things, and they're made with fruit juice, and they're wrapped in a cellophane. Who brings bread like this in a seudah? Nobody brings, Even the Ashkenazim, as we said, right, that they eat sweet challah, for Shabbat, for Yom Tov, they do. We eat more like regular bread, right? Bukharian bread, this bread. whatever it is, pita, lafa, all kinds of things. But Ashkenazim, they bring sweet challah. What do they make on that? Hamotzi or mezonot? Hamotzi, of course. It's a seudah, Shabbat seudah, Yom Tov seudah. They're gonna do hamotzi, of course. But it's not the same thing. You know why? Even for Ashkenazi, who makes hamotzi on the sweet challah, but that challah is made for seudah. Made for Shabbat. It's made for Yom Tov. It's made for big seudah. And also, they don't make it with fruit juice. They make it with water. You know what I mean? They need it with water. They add also some sugar there. They add sugar. They add eggs. All kinds of things. Yes, it's true. But it's mainly water. They use water. But here they're making especially with fruit juice. These rolls. On the plane. So it's not made for seudah. Nobody brings bread like this to seudah. Nobody. Not even the Ashkenazim. So this is the reason why. The truth is, Be'emet, I think that the more correct thing, even if you say by the way, it's a doubt. Let's say it's a doubt. Vapros, safek, we're not sure. What is this thing? Is it hamotzi or is it mezonot? So when you have a doubt, vapros, what do you do? What do you make? What do you bless? Says Bet Yosef, when there's a doubt, you make mezonot. Why? Safek de Rabbanan le'akel, because it's rabbinical, this whole rule. It's from the rabbis, so we're lenient about it. So we make, we're lenient. We go to kula. So whenever you have a safek, vapros, you go lenient. Mezonot, mechila.
I don't remember, but I think on a plane it's wrapped in a plastic, and the plastic says what is this?
Yeah, it's true, but the question is, is the plastic your rabbi? With all due respect, right? The question, who said that, right? Who wrote this on the plastic? Is it somebody that you can rely on? Somebody that knows halacha? So the truth is, they do know halacha, bebet, these people, They know what they're doing. So that's why, I say, bottom line, right, is that the best thing to do, with these little rolls, make mezonot and ala michya, You don't have to wash your hands, right, and nothing, You don't have to go to the bathroom over there, bring water out there. Who needs this, it's not really the... And also, eating on a plane, when you eat on a plane, matos, it's not really kavua, it's not really something like nice, stable meal there, It's more like a snack, what you're eating over there. It's not really, so it's not really a seudah really so much. It's not cute. Okay, whatever. Anyway, that's one thing. Another thing I want to tell you is also another question. Somebody asked me a couple of months ago, which is, that they make, in America, they like to do this. They have like a minhag like this, They make biscuits, biscuitim, like and they make it for, with, what they do? They make a dough, right? And they put inside their milk, and also butter, chema, right? And they mix it all together and make biscuits, like this. It has a nice taste to it, Chalavi. That's the way they make it. So now the question is, if they bring these biscuits, which are chalavi, they bring it to eat seudah, like chalavi seudah, What's the bracha, mezonot or hamotzi on this one? This is the question, another question, like this, So the truth is, it says in the Shulchan Aruch that when they make a dough with milk, the bracha is mezonot. That's what it says. Why is that? Because usually when you put milk inside there, it's not really for seudah. It's not regular bread. It's like more like something specialty, dessert or snack. It's not a regular bread. Regular bread doesn't come with milk. With butter. All kinds of things like doesn't. They don't make it like that. So this is the reason why. It says it's according to the Rambam, by the way. The Rambam says this. If you put sugar, or if you put milk, or if you put oil, into the dough, right? And make a dough, and you make biscuits, or rolls, Rambam says it's mezonot. That's how the Shulchan Aruch paskins, So here also same thing, right? Since they're made with milk, these biscuits, it should be really the bracha mezonot, not really hamotzi. But here's the thing, there is a side to say like a different side, to say like this, that maybe it really should be hamotzi. Why? Because since they make these biscuits, to have a seudah with it, seudah halavit, so maybe it's really hamotzi because it's a seudah, But the truth is, we're not really sure what these biscuits are made for. They're made for seudah, or they're made for snack, or they're made for dessert. It's not really so clear, what the purpose of these biscuits is. Sometimes they have seudah with it, sometimes it's a snack, sometimes it's a dessert or something like that. So since we're not sure, again, right, Bapros, when there's a safek, doubt, we make mezonot. Says Beit Yosef. Right? So here also, same thing, when you have this kind of a biscuit, you should make mezonot, and ala michya. We already said, right, last week, we spoke about this a little bit, I think if I remember correctly, that even if you have something like this, which is mezonot, these kinds of biscuits, or rolls, but if you eat 200 grams, right, that's 4 egg size, right? That's already seudah. So you have to make hamotzi, that's something else. I'm not talking about that, right? For sure that becomes hamotzi, it's a seudah already. But here, right, these biscuits usually, what do? You eat like 1 or 2, It's not really four. You don't eat 4 of them, it's too much, Nobody eats 4. But if you do, you have to make hamotzi, you have to wash your hands. Same thing, with these rolls, right, in the airplane. Usually, as we said, that you have 1, That's all they give you. They don't give you more. So if you're lucky, you'll get maybe 2. If you have to ask them, beg them, please bring me another one. But you're never going to get 4 of them. Who's going to give you 4? They're going to say, are you crazy? You want 4? Go to the restaurant. When are you coming to the plane? Nobody's going to give you 4. So therefore, right, it's not going to be 4. So it's going to be always mezonot and ala michya. When it comes to these kinds of things. Baruch Adonai Le'olam, Amen Amen. רבי חנן המקשר אומר, רצה הקדוש ברוך הוא לא זכות ישראל, לפיכך הרבה להם תורה ומצוות שנאמר אדוני חפץ, למען צדקו יגדיל תורה בידי.